YouTube, it's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Big John Fury, former boxer, former bare knuckle fighter, Big John Fury, the father of undefeated two-time heavyweight world champion, British superstar boxer, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Big John Fury, he states that, and points the finger at legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter, Bob Arum, who is the co-promoter to Tyson Fury here in the United States. Frank Warren, legendary promoter, Queensberry Promotions CEO and promoter, Frank Warren in the UK, promotes Tyson Fury in the UK. We know that they attempted to maneuver around Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American heavyweight world champion superstar boxer, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and a contractually obligated trilogy match that they had in place when they agreed prior to the rematch that took place February of 2020. They tried to maneuver around that to showcase a fight with fellow countrymen, two-time unified heavyweight world champion British superstar boxer Anthony Joshua for August 14th, All British Undisputed Showdown. Again, the last time they had a British undisputed heavyweight world champion was over 120 years ago. If you don't include Lennox Lewis, legend, Hall of Famer, icon, heavyweight world champion, but he represented not only the UK, he also represented Canada, and he also represented Jamaica. So if you look at a pure 100% British heavyweight champions 120 years ago. So they wanted to stage this showdown between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, and they tried to maneuver as best around Deontay Wilder and that contract as possible. So now Big John Fury, understanding that the first fight ended in a draw, the second fight saw Tyson Fury victorious, and he got a 7th round stoppage victory. But this third fight is raising concerns. It has his antennas raised, and he's not so sure that Tyson Fury is going to be the victor. And now he's saying that the antics that took place in the United States with promoter Bob Arum prevented this massive showdown. And the fact that Tyson Fury had been gearing up for a showdown with Anthony Joshua can see him have a letdown in a trilogy match with Deontay Wilder and everything go by the wayside. So now we know at the very least Deontay Wilder is a big puncher. He has a puncher's chance, having the highest knockout ratio in the history of sport of boxing at 93+% knockdown, knocked out every opponent he's ever faced, including dropping Tyson Fury twice in their first fight that ended in a draw. And so at the very least, you know Deontay Wilder, well, he has a puncher's chance. And so does Big John Fury. He understands that as well. And Big John Fury, he's not so comfortable. He's not so confident that Tyson Fury is just going to walk in there and repeat what he did the second fight. And now, obviously, there's a lot going on where there's a lot of pressure because there was a lot of speculation of Tyson Fury, his gloves looked deflated. Tyson Fury spoke on, and said that Deontay Wilder had said some things that he wasn't approval of, okay? And Tyson Fury, we know that there's a checkered past background when it comes to Tyson Fury. And there's a huge amount of fans that feel like Tyson Fury had an unfair advantage in that second fight with Deontay Wilder, including Deontay Wilder himself. And also, we see that Deontay Wilder has made some changes, some adjustments to his camp. Deontay Wilder is working on different things. Deontay Wilder is probably the most athletic heavyweight in the heavyweight division. So, Big John Fury, he understands the sport of boxing. He understands what can take place if Tyson Fury is not 1,000% focused. And he says all this time, Tyson Fury had been gathering and gearing up and preparing himself for a showdown with Anthony Joshua, who's a completely different style than Deontay Wilder. He presents a completely different challenge than Deontay Wilder does. Anthony Joshua is very skilled. He's very technical, but at times he could be predictable and robotic. That's not Deontay Wilder. He's the complete opposite. Now, they both have power, but obviously Deontay Wilder, he has more one-punch knockout power than Anthony Joshua. And so he's very unorthodox, but he's very athletic, and he has power in both hands. So if Deontay Wilder makes some adjustments, and Tyson Fury, we know, he's a big guy, 6'9", came in 273. You know, he used his size. He walked Deontay Wilder down. But there was, again, an asterisk by it. Because we saw the glove in the first fight was flapping around, the left glove. And in the second fight, you could see the glove was deflated, to say the very least. And so with that said, now this fight is going to be viewed with a magnifying glass. And Big John Fury, he's saying that Tyson Fury could be distracted. Tyson Fury may not be 100% focused on Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury may be overlooking Deontay Wilder or taking him for granted, thinking he can do the same thing he did in the first fight, okay? So Big John Fury is saying that we stand to lose everything going into this trilogy match. And it's the fault of Bob Arum. Because Bob Arum, he told us that we could maneuver around this trilogy match. Or else we would have been solely focused on Deontay Wilder, the trilogy match, handle business at hand first, then move into the Anthony Joshua fight. Well, my thing is this. It's easy to point fingers at Bob Arum and say, well, Bob Arum, he told us that we can, there's a loophole in the contract that we can get around. Well, you knew that you was obligated to give this man, Deontay Wilder, a trilogy match. So you knew there was a possibility that going to a mediation and arbitration, that the judge could rule in favor of Deontay Wilder. You knew that just like the rest of the world. We can't place all the blame on Bob Arum and say, well, Bob Arum, he promised us and guaranteed. Bob Arum can't guarantee anything. He saw a loophole in the contract that he felt like would be enough that they could maneuver around it and possibly stage the Joshua fight. But you knew there was a percentage and a chance that it might not work. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be a professional in law to understand that if somebody's obligated to receive in a contract, you know there's a possibility that the ruling could go 50-50 in either direction when you're dealing with a case of this magnitude, especially dealing with a global pandemic that saw all sports cease. So you knew Deontay Wilder had a case. You knew he had the leg to stand on. So you knew when you headed into negotiations with Anthony Joshua, it was irresponsible on the part of the entire team with dealing with Tyson Fury. Not just Bob Arum. It was Frank Warren. It was Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn. It was everybody included, including Big John Fury, that was pushing for an undisputed match with Anthony Joshua. You cannot just place it on Bob Arum and say, well, Bob Arum, he promised us it was a guarantee. No, Bob Arum couldn't guarantee you that. Bob Arum saw a loophole and said there's a possibility, but he couldn't guarantee you anything. Okay? And so with that said, this is they're using Bob Arum as a scapegoat, right? Not to take responsibility for trying to irresponsibly maneuver around a trilogy match that they were contractually obligated to perform. Period. And so now you have Eddie Hearn saying, well, Bob Arum, he promised her this, and we don't think Bob Arum ever wanted it. And now Tyson Fury, father, John Fury, is trying to allude at the same thing, that Bob Arum never wanted to fight. He always wanted the Deontay Wilder fight here in the States. No, if that's the case, and now he's saying it was a circus in the United States on the part of Bob Arum. Okay, so you knew this was a possibility that Deontay Wilder could win this arbitration. I'm certain that the judges that the lawyers that Tyson Fury had, that he stated that he's paying millions upon millions of dollars to make the situation with Deontay Wilder go away. Well, I'm sure those same lawyers, those same attorneys, well, they informed Tyson Fury that there's a possibility that Deontay Wilder could win this case. And then instead of them pulling away from the table, the negotiation table, and saying, let's put a halt to this, let's just address this first before we get our hopes up and it comes crashing down. Let's address this first and handle this business at hand. Even Tyson Fury, June 10th of 2020, when he announced to the world that he and Anthony Joshua agreed to a 2-fight deal, for 2021. He even stated in that clip, he said, me and Anthony Joshua agreed to a showdown 2021, but first things first, I got to handle business with Deontay Wilder. So everybody involved understood that Deontay Wilder was still a factor, but you tried to attempt to maneuver around him, and when it didn't work, now you want to place it on Bob Arum. And now you're saying this could potentially ruin everything because Tyson Fury was geared up for Anthony Joshua. Now he has to face Deontay Wilder. When this same Tyson, Big John Fury stated that he believes that Tyson Fury should have went and fought Deontay Wilder first because he's been out the ring too long to go into an undisputed match with Anthony Joshua. This is the same Big John Fury, and he said he was contractually obligated to receive a trilogy match. That was John Fury. So you knew this all along, but you attempted and it didn't work, and now you don't want to take responsibility for it, period. So let's see how this plays out July 24th, Las Vegas, Nevada, in Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. That's all I got for y'all, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hey, this is Ebony Bridges, Blonde Bomber, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.